Some weeks ago, I completed my 60th year, and the day was filled with celebrations. Many friends and family were making a big deal that I was around for 60 years and wished me many more years of life and good health. On the Feast of the Holy Family, we are invited to reflect on the value of family and the important work of building healthy family life. The Christmas celebration would have us note that in becoming one of us, God did not avoid being conceived, born, nurtured, and loved within a human family. It was in a family that Jesus grew in wisdom and grace. It was in a family that Jesus came to understand himself much of his life purpose. Family is absolutely necessary for the humanity and even the survival of every human individual. My age of 60 plus years and the Feast of the Holy Family have caused me to reflect on how I came to be and how crucial it has been for my life and my human dignity to be protected and valued by friends and family. I was born on Saturday, December 18th, 1948, 1 week before Christmas. But my life just didn't appear that day out of nowhere. My individual life had been unfolding in utero for 9 months prior to that date. You see, Biology 101 has revealed to me that sometime in March 1948, an equal number of genes, one set from my mother and one set from my father, came together and created one cell. And that cell needed nourishment, oxygen, and a safe environment for it to unfold. In those early days, I did not think, I did not see with eyes, or grasp with hands, but the march towards my birthday was continuing day by day, cell by developing cell. The gift of life that I received as a human being was unfolding. That same gift continues to unfold this very day. My individual human life was developing a number of weeks before my mother and father even knew I was there. I imagine when they found it out, they were rather surprised, with all sorts of mixed feelings. They had been married for 9 years and had no children. 8 years before I was born, my mother had been pregnant with a daughter. But complications during childbirth caused the death of my sister and almost took my mother's life. I did not know nor understand the trauma that my mother experienced until I witnessed my mother's reaction to my younger sister's 26 hours of labor in giving birth to my mother's grandson 45 years after she lost her first child. I have never seen my mother so panicked as her watching my sister go through 26 hours of hard labor. So in the spring of 1948, my mother was pregnant again, and probably had mixed feelings about what might or might not happen Would she go through another life-threatening ordeal and again live with a devastating loss? My father had returned from World War II, having been traumatized by the experience. Post-traumatic stress disorder was not diagnosed in those days. But plenty of soldiers returned struggling with the condition. My mother and dad were on a farm with buildings, including the house built in the 1800s. There was no indoor plumbing, and wouldn't be until I was a junior in high school. The spring, summer, and fall of 1948, I was in utero. And those days were filled with challenges and uncertainty. It was a stressful time for them. There were great risks and lots of unknowns. There were limited resources to create a future. And here I was, cell by cell, disfiguring my mother's shape, causing more stress and uncertainty. Were there times that my mother wished she was not pregnant in 1948? I don't know for sure. I never asked her. Maybe I should. I don't know whether she would answer straightforward or not. I think it unusual that a woman, at least at one point or another in a pregnancy, does not at least have a passing wish that the pregnancy might go away. There would be those who would look at this situation and recommend termination of pregnancy, saying, it's not a good time, or look at what that poor woman is going through, or that dad, look what he's going through. And after all, my mother should have the freedom to choose. But the pregnancy did not go away. The choice was not made. I did not go away. On a terrifying Saturday, December 18, 1948, 1 week before Christmas, I busted out of the water world of the womb. I did not do a ta-da. My hunch is that having been squeezed through the birth canal and into the cold outer world, I did not like the change. But then in the 60 years and 9 months of my existence, I noticed that I don't always get my way. And sometimes I'm very fortunate that that is the case. You see, I am beginning to think of myself as my mother and father's crisis pregnancy of 1948. Not all the ducks were in order at the time. They weren't quite ready for me, as if any parent is completely ready when a child arrives, right? The economics were not in place. One could argue that neither my mother nor my father were emotionally ready for the changes that my continued existence would bring to their lives. But isn't that the job of children? To continually challenge the emotional readiness of the parents? More importantly, isn't that the job of being family? Making room in the inn for the newcomer, even though the coming seems ill-timed.